Ho, ho, this is old Santa Claus. Well, Christmas is over again for another year, and I'm kind of glad. You know, some of you people think you have hazardous occupations. Well, let me tell you about some of mine if you think you've got it bad. All night long, soot in the chimney. Then after I do get in, I go to put the goodies in the socks, and what I find? Smelly socks. And then cross dogs. Boy, some people sure do have those mean dogs. Why, I even got shot at. Well, once I was mistaken for a stork. And then I got to drive all night in the snow. Why, I damn near got killed by a 747. And Mrs. Claus is peed off because I got in too late. And that isn't all. Donner and Blitzen and Rudolph got the runs over Albuquerque, and you ought to see my red suit. Those damn elves won't clean the sleigh unless I pay them double time. I'm so sick of cookies and milk I could vomit. But the only highball I had all night is when I slipped getting out of my sleigh. And my bladder is giving me hell. I peed my pants at 20,000 feet and froze to the seat. And I'm allergic to pine needles and I itch all over. And I think my hemorrhoids are back. Ho, 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 Merry Christmas, your foot. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Carl Bossler. I have the distinguished honor of being on the committee for raising $5 million for placing a statue of Richard M. Nixon in the Hall of Fame in Washington, D.C. This committee was in a quandary where to place the statue. It was thought not wise to place it beside the statue of George Washington, who never told a lie, nor beside Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who never told the truth, since Richard M. Nixon could never tell the difference. We finally decided to place it beside Christopher Columbus, the greatest New Dealer of them all. He left not knowing where he was going, and upon arriving did not know where he was. He returned not knowing where he had been, and did it all on borrowed money. Over 5,000 years ago, Moses said to the children of Israel, "Pick up your shovels, mount your asses and camels, and I will lead you to the promised land." Nearly 5,000 years later, Roosevelt said, "Lay down your shovels, sit on your asses, light up a camel. This is the promised land." Now Nixon is stealing your shovels, kicking your asses, raising the price of camels, and mortgaging the promised land. If you are one of the fortunate people who has any money left after paying taxes, we will expect a generous donation as a contribution to this worthwhile project. Thank you and good night.
Hi, Mr. Russell here for that. Those pants were patched. Why did your mother patch your pants with brown? She asked in old maid's glee. The small boy touched the spot and said, "Lady, that ain't no patch, that's me." My little nephew came up to me with the same curiosity about the riddle of life that the young ones always have. And I explained to him about the birds and the bees. I was going through the playground, I saw a ball game, I said to the little fella there, I said, "What's the score?" He said, 84-0 in their favor. I said, "Gee whiz, they're beating you kind of bad, aren't they?" He said, "Well, I don't know. We ain't been to bat yet." If you want the real score, call me tomorrow.
Little stranger in a manger, little stranger sweet and mild, Mother Mary, little Joseph, not sure to prove their only child.
Searching for you to adore you, come three kings led by a star. Little stranger in a manger, they find heaven where you are. Choirs of angels are singing this night of your birth. Praise and glory to the highest in a stable on earth. Humble shepherds filled with wonder, kneel and pray by lantern light. Little stranger in a manger, bless us all this holy night. Choirs of angels this night of your birth. Praise and glory to the highest. Little stranger here on in the shadows of the past. The rainbow watched above you, the sacred words I love you. Why did the dream go by so fast? Walking hand in hand, the dawn discloses we were dreaming of a land where love reposes but castles made of sand. Like winter roses are faded to die. My darling, like you and I, my darling. Where are those sweet Septembers, the joy my heart remembers, lost in the shadows of the past? The rainbow watched above you, the sacred words, I love you. Why did that dream go by so fast? Was it too beautiful? Was it too beautiful to
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your NBC News correspondent, Cobb Corn Cob, coming to you from our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. I'm here today covering the saddest event in our nation's history, the funeral of Tom the Atom Bomb, the President's cat. Tom was one of the President's most cherished friends, being with our nation's leader almost constantly. It was at one of the times when Tom was separated from the President that the end came. He was celebrating with a few cronies, his alley cat friends, and ate just a little too much catnip. There are thousands of spectators here. I would estimate approximately 15 to 20,000 people. The casket is now being removed from the rotunda by the color guard and placed on the caisson, which is drawn by 6 white horses. Immediately following the caisson is the President and his wife, the chiefs of state, relations, and friends. It's time for the carillon to ring, which will be immediately followed by the funeral chant.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
Here lies a kitten good that kept a kitten's proper place. He stole no pantry eatables, nor scratched the baby's face.
He left the alley cats alone.
He had no yowling vice. His shirt was always laundried well. He freed the house of mice.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Burl Ives and his choir boys will sing taps as the cortege starts to the cemetery.
Gone the sun from a lake, from the hills, from the sky. All is well, safely rest. God is nigh.
fading light dims the sight, and the sun dims the sky, gleaming bright from a far dawning night. Falls the night.
This is Cob Cob Corn Cob, Washington, D.C., returning you to the NBC network to a program already in progress in tribute to Tom Tom the Atom Bomb. We interrupt this program to bring you a special newscast by Herb Nelson and Jimmy Morrison.
Broadcasting Company presents a special bulletin from the Press Radio News. And is from the Press Radio Bureau. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Down from Chicago yesterday afternoon aboard one of the giant new 21-passenger flagships of American Airlines. It took us only 3 hours, 55 minutes to fly non-stop from Chicago to New York. When we landed at Newark, we found another flagship of American Airlines waiting to take us to Lakehurst with our equipment when we were ready to go. And incidentally, American Airlines is the only airline in the United States which makes connections with the Hindenburg. The Hindenburg left Frankfurt, Germany, Tuesday evening rather, at 7:30 their time. And for better than 2.5 days, they've been speeding through the skies over miles and miles of water here to America. Now they're coming in to make a landing of the Zeppelin. I'm going to step out here and cover it from the outside. So as I move out, we'll just stand by a second. Well, here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. We're out now outside of the hangar, and what a great sight it is. A thrilling one. It's a marvelous sight. It's coming down out of the sky, pointed directly towards us and toward the mooring mast. The mighty diesel motors just roared, their propellers sighting into the air and throwing it back into a gale-like whirlpool. No wonder this great floating palace can travel through the air at such a speed with these powerful motors behind it. Now, a field that we thought active when we first arrived has turned into a moving mass of cooperative action. The landing crews have rushed to their posts and spots, and orders are being passed along, and last-minute preparations are being completed for the moment we have waited for so long. The ship is riding majestically toward us like some great feather, riding as though it was mighty proud of the place it's playing in the world's aviation. The ship is no doubt bustling with activity, as we can see. Orders are shouted to the crew. The passengers are probably lining the windows, looking down at the field ahead of them, getting their glimpse of the mooring mast. It's practically standing still now. They've dropped ropes out of the nose of the ship, and it's been taken a hold of down on the field by a number of men. It's starting to rain again. The rain had slacked up a little bit. The back motors of the ship are just holding it just enough to keep it from... It bursts into flames. Get it, Charlie. It's crashing. It's crashing terrible. Oh, my, get out of the way, please. It's bursting into flames, and it's falling on the mooring mast, and all the folks agree that this is terrible. This is one of the worst catastrophes in the world. Oh, it's the place is 400 or 500 feet into the sky, and it's a terrific crash, ladies and gentlemen. The smoke and the flames now, and the frame is crashing to the ground, not quite to the mooring mast. All the humanity and all the passengers screaming around here. I can't talk to people whose friends are on there. I can't talk, ladies and gentlemen. Honest, it's just laying there a mass of smoking wreckage. And everybody can't hardly breathe and talk and screaming. Lady, I'm sorry. Honestly, I can hardly breathe. I'm going to step inside where I cannot see it. Charlie, that's terrible. Listen, folks, I'm going to have to stop for a minute because I've lost my voice. This is the worst thing I've ever witnessed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back again. I've sort of recovered from the terrific explosion and the terrific crash that occurred just as it was being pulled down to the mooring mast. The terrible amount of hydrogen gas in it just caused the tail surface broke into flame first. Then there was a terrific explosion, and that's followed by the burning of the nose and the crashing nose into the ground, and everybody tearing back at breakneck speed to get out from underneath it because it was over the people at the time it burst into flames. Now, whether it fell on the people who were witnessing it, we do not know. But as it exploded, they rushed back, and now it's smoking a terrific black smoke floating up into the sky. The flames are still leaping maybe 30, 40 feet from the ground, the entire 811 feet length of it. They're frantically calling for ambulances and things. The wires are being humming with activity, and I've lost my breath several times during this exciting moment here. Will you pardon me just a moment? I'm not going to stop talking. I'm just going to swallow several times until I can keep on. I should imagine that the nose is not more than 500 feet or maybe 700 feet from the mooring mast. They had dropped 2 ropes, and whether or not some spark or something set it on fire, we don't know, or whether something pulled loose on the inside of the ship, causing a spark and causing it to explode in the tail surface. But everything crashed to the ground, and there's not a possible chance of anybody being saved. I wish I could stop in just a moment and see if I can get my breath again. And Charlie, if you'll fade it out just a minute, I'll come back with more description, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back again. I raced down to the burning ship, and just as I walked up to the ship, climbed over the picket lines, I met a man coming out, dazed. He couldn't find his way. I grabbed a hold of him. It's Philip Mangone, A-N-G-O-N-E, of New York. Philip Mangone. He's burned terribly in the hands, and he's burned terribly in the face, his eyebrows, and all his hair is burned off, but he's walking and talking plainly and distinctly, and he told me he jumped. He jumped with other passengers. Now, there's a Mr. Spay. It sounds like Spay. We're not sure of it. And he also got out. Now, it is my sincere hope the majority of the passengers jumped when it came close to the ground, according to what Mr. Mangone told me. He says, thank God he jumped, and we say thank God for him also.
We'll now return to our studios for a program of recorded music. thus concludes another day of broadcasting from station KORN at triple watt kilocycle on your dial, broadcasting under the power of 1 candle watt. We shall return in the morning with weather and farm news. Thank you and good night.